We on? Looks like it says recording started. So here we are, episode number 2 of What's Good Under the Hood podcast. On the bottom of your screen, you will see the owner and guru of Mazda of Columbia. You'll see his thing right there. You want to see his thing
right there. Right there.
The logo right there. Everything is backwards. I can't figure it out. Anyway, my name is Andy Woods from 97.5 WCOS, top corner under the Fox Sports banner. Rob Sanders, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Rob.
Rob's got other podcasts that you can check out too. You want to give yourself a plug real quick?
No, because we're talking about viable stuff here. My other podcasts are all about silly things where people want to slice me. So let's not do that.
Slice by Sanders.
Hey, you can talk about cars. You don't have a problem. You talk about sports. People get a little emotional.
Do y'all want to talk about sports?
No, I don't want to talk about sports. They will talk about sports next time.
I want to talk about these cars. First of all, I know we're going to talk about electric cars right now, but I want to ask this question because it doesn't make any sense to me about cars. Pull up to a stop sign and you'll see a car and it turns off at a stop sign. Then it cranks up every time they put it in drive and go again. What is the point?
Well,
does it save that much gas?
No, but it probably saves some. The funny part is that I learned in a Jeep I can't even say it, Jeep Grand Cherokee, there's a little battery. It looks like it's about the size of a motorcycle battery underneath the passenger seat. That's the start battery. Every manufacturer does it differently in how they start the car, but to me, they're the most irritating thing on the planet. So I look for the little button with the A and the little arrow around it and just poke that and the thing runs perfect all the time.
Doesn't it wear out the starter starting over and over and over again?
Well, it depends on how they start. I mean, not all of them use the starter. Some of them have other ways of making the whole thing work, and I don't know how it works. But the bottom line is, to me, it's kind of silly.
Electric cars. My little brother's got a couple of Teslas, and I always thought electric cars were slow. Boy, was I wrong. Holy hell.
No, unless your brother's got a nice golf cart, but that's about it. He has a couple of Teslas?
Maybe just 2.
He's got a little money problem or what?
Now he does that he bought 2.
Lack of money because those are expensive, man.
I know.
They are a great car. Electric cars, the whole thing's changing. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. Can you kill the I don't know, the saying that's out there that if I have an electric car, it's like George Jetson's car, boop, 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 as you go down the road. I mean, people know about Tesla.
That should be the way it is. They should have sound effects.
That sounds like that. Before you get into that, I got a question. So on the Jetsons, what was the dog's name?
Astro.
All right. One show, he had a different name, and that was when a rich guy came in and said it was his dog, took him away from the Jetsons, and had him his own dog walk, had steaks every day for him, and he had a different name. Do you know what that was?
No.
Trowpaz. Trowpaz. Roper? Anyway, there you go. There you have it.
You should do the entire podcast in that voice.
Yes, I can do that. But anyway. So the question you had other than the was what? That more sounds like the Steve Austin thing were you even old enough for the Bionic Man?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that.
Can you get past the vibe that, okay, it's a little type car that's just bebopping down the road. I mean, can you be a man's man and drive an electric car that's not a Tesla?
Well, yeah, Jay Leno just set a world record in a Tesla, but there are other cars coming in. I'll get to that in a second. Jay Leno's deal that's a $125,000 Tesla. I'm not sure the model of it, but it ran a 9-second quarter mile. And you can't even run in a drag race legally in NHRA, I believe, less than 10 seconds without having a roll cage. So the quickness and the ability of those cars, because the torque curve is so flat. If you remember, most people have driven a golf cart at some point of their life. And when you map the gas in a golf cart, it just goes, and you're darn near wide open in the thing. Well, electric car is about the same. And the second thing is that the technologies that they've developed, Porsche is kind of a leader in that. When they've come out with their hybrid cars that they've done that they're putting 1,000 horsepower to the pavement. So, and if you've got all-wheel drive, and so the things are really connecting up, the quickness, they're doing 0 to 60 in 2.4, 2.6 seconds, which is breathtaking. And I remember being in a Tesla, not talking specifically about them, but when the acceleration and pulling you in the seat was the same from 0 as it was if I hit the gas at 35. It just shoved you back in the seat because it was instant power, instant torque. So there's a lot to them. There's some downsides to electric cars, but the technology is being embraced by the manufacturer because they can make some pretty exciting cars. And I just heard yesterday that the Challenger, they're going to make an electric Challenger that will be faster than the Demon, which ran sub 10 seconds. And that should be amazing in itself. So I got lots of stuff coming from manufacturers.
When I think that though, do you think we'll ever get to a point where they have when I think classic muscle car, I think Mustang and Camaro and stuff like that. Will it ever get to a point we have an electric version of one of those?
Yeah, I think it's called the Leaf. That has to be the ugliest car they ever made ever.
Yeah. I can't get behind that.
No, I know.
Hey, man,
I think you're right. I think they will. And me talking about the Challenger is a pretty good example. I heard that there's you can look it up on Google, but it'll kind of have the old Charger's rectangular front end with LED lights around it instead of accentuating the headlights the way they do. But yeah, they're going to do some crazy stuff with them. The problem is I don't even know the reason behind it. To me, a Toyota Prius is probably one of the ugliest cars ever made. They come from the factory with the dents in them. It's like roll down assembly line, hit that there, okay, let her rip. And I'm not trying to pick on people that have a Toyota Prius because they're kind of cool to drive. I like the challenge of never coming to getting the motor to start. You're trying to ease onto the throttle so the secondary motor doesn't kick in and you're just running off electric. But they're originally electric cars. They wanted to designate them that way, so they made them uglier than ugly. But now we're starting to see more mainstream. And Mazda's got a car coming out. We have the CX-30. It's a C. I don't know what, I can't remember. Anyway, it's brand new. We don't have it yet, so quit laughing, Andy. I promise when the car gets here, I'll know what it is. I guess CM30, or I don't know what the heck it is. But anyway, it'll be an electric car. And I saw a picture of it, and it looks good. You kind of sort of can tell it's a little different, but it's a real car. So to answer your question, Rob, yeah, if you look at some of these Porsches, the Taycan that they're making now, it's a beautiful car. And, if you want to go into the street rod area or the Mustangs or the classic kind of cars, these designers now are just phenomenal. The stuff they're making. We've got a car coming and it's not electric, but it's going to be a little bit bigger than the CX-9, and it'll compete with the Tahoe and the Telluride and all that stuff. And I saw a rendering of it, or not a rendering, I saw a picture of it, and it just was breathtaking. It was so good looking. So,
and this is Mazda's electric car, right?
No, that one's not electric. That'll be
it
may be a hybrid. They talked about they've got 13 models coming in the next couple of years that will be either hybrid or full electric.
There are some downsides. We have talked about the electric car downsides before. not that they're not great vehicles, but the cost of replacing a battery, the lack of people carrying it in for oil changes and getting the other services done. So things go wrong because people don't take them to the service department as often as they do a conventional vehicle.
Agreed. The trigger to most people servicing their car fully is the oil change. So they know that 3,000, 5,000, whatever the interval they want to do them at, depending upon how they drive, but they're going to bring their car in, and then our technicians will look the car over and say, hey, you need to do this, or this is coming up soon, or, kind of planning on what plan of attack they have for maintenance on the car to keep it in tip top shape and safe and everything else. And so with electric cars, though, there isn't that trigger. And so their thought process of, hey, I need to take it in for an alignment, or I have to take it in and have my brakes checked, it's out the window. And so they're finding that a lot of the cars that are coming back, electric cars are coming back on trade-ins and all that kind of stuff, are just worn out. They're exhausted because people just aren't looking at it or thinking about the right way. So they're just used to a particular way, and it's changed it.
But eventually, the majority of cars on the road down the time frame of years will be mainly electric, which is going to have a stressor on the electric system, on the grid, and everything else.
Well, I think you're 100% correct there. I think that it's the old rule of unintended consequences. You come up with a great idea, so let's run with it, and then we backfill and try and make up ground. I think that there's 18 or 19, this was as of like 2019, there was like 19,000 charging stations in the public, not counting car dealerships. I think there's probably more now, but there's 170,000 plus gas stations in the country. So there's a big difference in being able to do that. And if you're going to go on a long trip, it's going to be another thing to get used to, of pulling over for 20 minutes to get your car charged up. But they can't charge them that fast. So you have to build in that kind of time if you're going to want to take a long trip. That's where I personally think a hybrid is a better idea, because you're never going to get stranded.
But a fully electric car, having to pull over for 20 minutes to charge it, gives you a chance to go in and have a cocktail. I'm kidding. No drinking.
That's a great idea. Why don't you have two while you're there? Let's make them a double. Let's do it. We're just hitting the road. One for the road. Let's do it.
Did you ever watch Cops or Live PD when they pull somebody over that's been drinking? How many drinks have you had? I've had two.
Always
beers.
Two.
And they can't even stand up. How big were the beers? This big?
They're huge. I had 2 kegs. That's what I had. But the Tesla has got autonomous driving, so you can go ahead and just let it take care of business and get you home.
I'm sure you'd still get arrested. You get pulled over.
Oh yeah, you get arrested. There's no doubt about it. But here's the problem. Who do you blame? The car was swerving. I mean, it was driving. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
So that becomes a little bit of an issue.
Definitely a dumbass move. Speaking of dumbass moves, you have one that you made that you have not told either Rob or I about yet.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm so stupid.
It has something to do with weight.
This belly that I got here, I paid a lot of money for this. There was a lot of good food that went into this, and I am getting old, and I need to take off some weight. And I was looking for some kind of motivation. And I have a friend of mine that sends me a daily prayer text on my phone, and it's great. And the one yesterday was about change, and it was more about changing, not trying to change other people and changing yourself. And it made a lot of sense to me. Excuse me. And but my partner is a triathlete, and he's just an incredibly nice human being, and he's very philanthropic. His goal is, he takes care of people. That's just his deal. And so he's involved in he sent me a text the other day, said didn't get back to me right away because he was involved in giving an award to police officers. He does a police officer of the month in Charlotte, and he gives money to some Blue Line organization, which is great. But he also does a fallen officer bicycle ride, and I think they generate money in doing that. And it's a 600-mile ride. It's not all in one day. It's 100 miles at a time. And in my past history, you don't know, but I rode my bicycle, and I'm going to go back to 1983 to 88. I mean, I rode a bike forever. As a kid, I was a maniac on a bike. But in 88, I did some serious training on a bike, and I was riding about 75 miles a day. So to me, that's a normal thing, and I really enjoyed it. But when you get as big as I am and out of shape, you sit on a bicycle seat, it's like sitting on a bunch of nails coming out of the seat. But I said, that's such a noble thing to do, and I need to find a way to get myself in shape. And so I, like a dummy, I'll use your term, like a dumbass, I sent him a text and said, hey, next year, I'd like to join you on this journey. And I sent him a copy of the prayer, and I said, this motivated me. I was looking for something to, kind of fire me up and get me going, because I felt like such a blob, and yard work didn't seem to be the solution. And so I sent it to him, and then he sent me back a response. He says, man, I'm so excited. I love the prayer. And I also am just great. It's great that you have a goal, and I would love nothing more to have you join me. I'm so excited. You made my day. So I was talking to my brother, and I told him, hey, I said, I did this. And he goes, so you need to send him back a text, LOL, that I was just kidding, April Fools or something like that, because you said you aren't going to make it. And I said, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to dedicate myself to it. So I got a lot of weight to take off. I've got to get back into training, back in the saddle on a bike. And I'm really kind of looking forward to it. And a year from now, I'll be half of myself.
Do you know how to lose a lot of weight in a big hurry? And then I'll shut up and let Rob, because Rob's got a question. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm good.
Get a colonoscopy. You'll lose 8 or 10 pounds the day before it.
Yeah, get your little cleanse.
That's not the method I was going to go with. I was going to say become a crackhead, but
that'll do it too. But I'm gonna go with the cleanse before the crackhead. But I'm not doing either one. I did this stuff, I'm going to do it again because it's actually some meal supplements and stuff, and it was through a company called Arbonne. And a friend of mine, she's awesome, and she got me going on this. And last year or 2 years ago, I lost 44 pounds for my daughter's wedding. So I was, wouldn't be the big blob rolling down the aisle with her. And I managed to do that doing this program. But one of the things that I did, and I will never do again, is she says, well, this is how the program works, and you do this stuff. And then after 2 weeks, you do this cleanse. Anything that has the word cleanse in it, I am out. I had planned a motorcycle ride that day, and I did my cleanse, and all of a sudden my eyes got real big. It's like, oh man, my life just changed. So I'm out on that program. But so I'm going with a bicycle instead because it's a whole lot less traumatic. Let's just put it that way.
And
Are you going to wear?
What's that,
I'm
Rob?
wearing a singlet. Are you going to wear some bicycle shorts? We have that.
Yes, sir, of course I will.
Let's hope not.
They've got it. No, you have to. If you're going to do 100 miles on a bicycle, they've got a chamois that's in your crotchal area. And
Really?
and trust me, it really helps. It makes a big difference. You couldn't make it 20. You'd have a problem on those little, I'll call little thong of a seat. So it's pretty exciting.
I was on a pedal boat last weekend over at Sesquicentennial State Park, and they don't put pads on the seats of that. I can imagine it was flat and it just hurt. I did like 20 minutes. I got to get out of this damn thing. I can't imagine doing a bike for 600 freaking miles.
Well, not
for a
all
good cause.
100 at a time, and doing a century.
Still 100 miles on a bicycle. Jesus.
Well, if it's all downhill, it's great.
Yeah, but every action deserves and gets an equal and opposite reaction.
Hey, you know what? We should support Greg, Andy. Be nice. He's making a change, sir.
Yes,
Should we join him on the bicycle ride?
You can join him on the bicycle ride. I will cheer you both on.
What's the matter, Rob? You've got a chance here.
I'm going to lift heavy things. That's what I do.
You're like me. You got more chins. Never mind.
Yeah, easy. I need to go there.
When is your event, Rob? When is your event? Where's it going to be?
August the 14th. And right now I'm a pretty miserable human being. I'm having to portion out my foods, and I've got to lift so much during the week and cardio and everything else because you have to make a certain weight, and it's tough.
You're going for a record though, aren't you?
I'm going for the state record in my age group. Yeah.
How much?
And what is that?
It's 577 pounds on the deadlift. So that's just picking it directly up off the floor, holding it straight up like that. So it's
you can train by lifting me up. You're in great shape.
I was about to say there are people around here with egos that weigh over 600 pounds, so you could probably practice on that.
Yeah, I was heading for my 600-pound life. What's the guy's name? Dr. New or something comes, hello. Like, no.
What I like to do when I watch my 600-pound life? I like to sit on the couch, watch that, eat Oreos, and judge.
Exactly.
See, I can't watch shows like that. The one show that I cannot watch, the Pimple Popper Show.
Oh, I love that.
You ever seen this?
Dr. Lee? I've got her on my TikTok.
Name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's awesome.
She
is awesome. There's some gross stuff that comes out of human beings, isn't there?
Can we talk about who you follow on TikTok on the next episode? Because I bet that's outstanding.
It really isn't very much. You probably dig more into my YouTube history and find out, I watch Oriental rugs being cleaned and lawns being mowed and, that kind of stuff. It's mind bending.
And this podcast you'll be able to watch on YouTube as well. Is it a Mazda of Columbia channel? Is that what it's going to be?
That is correct. What's good under the hood.
And that's the name of this podcast. Episode number 2 is about to be in the books. And this has been fun. Greg Hood, what's good under the hood from Mazda of Columbia? Real quick, you guys are building a new building. I do want to touch on that before we get out of here.
We are. We're doing a big old remodel. No,
burp.
I cleared my throat.
Okay.
I can burp if you want me to, but
Please do.
Excuse me. I thought we were finished, so I didn't think I had to clear my throat. But then you made me talk. So yeah, we're doing about a $3 million remodel, a little over $3 million remodel on our dealership. We're building an all new service department, and then we're remodeling the showroom. And it'll be pretty exciting stuff. It'll be a state of the art, beautiful building. And our dealership's just tired. It's old. And so we would like to give our customers a little bit better experience when they come and they like to spend a little time with us instead of running out the door.
MazdaofColumbia.com. Greg Hood, Rob Sanders from AM 1400 Fox Sports Radio. And I'm Andy Woods. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Episode number 3 is coming up.
Thank you very much.